Hi guys, it's me again, Roxanne Hoy. I'm a fashion design instructor, and in this next video you'll be learning how to make a cowl. So hopefully you can understand my video again this time and follow along. Thank you for joining. Hi guys, so let's get started. We will need our bodice block patterns. So get the front first, because we're going to be manipulating the front mostly and not entirely the back. So let's get started with the front. You will want to move your bust dart down to the bodice dart, so it will be much wider and bigger. Alright, so you remember how to move it. So let me just show you. Okay, so I only traced out the neckline, center front, and part of the bottom part down here. Why? Because the rest of this will be moved due to this one moving down here. Okay, so let's start. Alright, now we're done with that. The next part is we will start marking where we want our mid cowl to mostly fall on. So I'm going to go down from the top of the neckline down 3.5 inches. Okay, I marked it there. So I marked that. Now we're going to shorten also the shoulders. So from the neckline, shoulder part area, I will measure it. It's in total 4 inches, but we're not doing the whole thing. Remember, I said we're going to lessen it. So I'm going to go from here to there 3 inches. Alright. So again, in total it's 4 inches, and then I just went to 3 inches over here. Okay. Alright guys, next step, we are going to do 4 lines within this pattern. So first line, we're going to make a square off line from the bodice point to the center front. Okay, to square it off, it has to be 90 degree from the center, and then you line it up with the bust point or the bodice point. So draw a line there. So that's the first line. Second line, we will make a straight line from the point mark that we did below the neckline and on the shoulder where we marked it. So that will be a straight line. Okay, now that is a straight line, so 1, 2 lines. The third line, find the center between these 2 lines, and then mark it, and then Next one we will mark is on the shoulder. So find again the center between the shoulder point there to where you marked it, where the straight line is, okay? And then mark it in the center, all right? And then next, don't forget to mark the shoulder point over there. So at this part, we will be using the curved ruler and we will be connecting the lines. So if you can see, the first marking, that center, will meet that center on the shoulder. So don't use too much of the curved part, but it does have to be curved. And then the second one, or the last line we have to do, is from the squared off part over here, this point, it will meet to the shoulder point. There we go. Now we got our lines set out. Next part we will be cutting. So I will start off first with this bottom line. So just watch me. So I slashed it here. Reason why I slashed that first, this part here, that line, is because we're going to reduce the dart down here. We're going to make it smaller again and move some of it to that slashed area. So it will look like a new dart, but it's not exactly a new dart. It's just an addition. So from there, what I will do is slash the bottom part of this dart so I can move it around. I slashed the bottom too, and as you can see, there you go, I can move that. So I'm gonna make it, there you go, I made it smaller again, and I'm gonna leave that there. So I'm just gonna tape down that part. Here so it doesn't move around, and then yeah, probably tape the middle part too. So that's done. So I'm gonna add in paper to there. So when you slash, you add in paper. Okay, next one we're going to be cutting is the next one over here, alright? So I will do this slow and easy again. Just make a bit of a straight line there. Then just follow the line. It will meet on the shoulder point. Okay, so, alright, so I did cut that part. Now I'm gonna open it just a bit, not so much that's almost like 2 inches wide, that's fine. Or actually like a bit more, like 2.5 inches. Okay, there. And then fold that part over. So that will be open. So with that part, I'm gonna add in another piece of paper. side, that end that needs to be secured down. Okay, so we got that part done. Next, we're going to be cutting the next one on top of that. All right. Only cut till the end point there. See, that's open too. So we are going to open this one a bit more. All right. Okay guys, next step is doing the top slash over here. But with that, we will have to look at the center front at the bottom over here, so the straight line, because with a slash we open it, but then the top line up here, which is why I extended it out a bit more, look at it, we are going to achieve for the top line to square off. So imagine the rest is the center front over there, so we have to look at the imaginary line and square it off for the top over there. All right, so let me just move it again, and yeah, so all right, so that's supposed to be within a 90 degrees squared off. So if it's the right angle, I would just like, yeah, there, and then take that end down first so it does not move. Then I add this in. So if you feel your straight imaginary line has been disrupted, just recheck again. So the squaring off is just right. Okay, I got it. All right, now tape the rest down. Don't forget to flatten the pattern so it doesn't move around and it doesn't have that curling thing happening. You want it just nice and flat so the pattern fits properly down onto the fabric. Alright, so we got that. Now the rest of that pattern up here for the neckline, that's gone. So we won't be using that anymore. And let's just say we can actually remove it. Okay, so the top neckline part, let's remove it. That's gone. We don't need that part anymore. Your shoulder area, you can see there's a bit of a point happening. So let me just move it. You can see how it just goes like that, like a bit of an angle. I would suggest that you take your a bit of a curved ruler and curve it just a bit, alright? Not so much, but just a bit so it blends together. You want the shoulder to blend together. So when it meets with the back pattern, it has a nice fitting to it. Okay? Alright guys, so the next part we're gonna do is draw the straight, squared out line all the way to the top. Okay? Because that is gonna be your new center front. So there you go. There you go. So it extended up, and that's your new center front with your manipulated pattern for the front part of the cowl top. Alright guys, so I added extra paper here. Okay, well let's just put that first aside. So with our pattern for the front, we want to add again on the top an extra bit. Make it around 7 inches width, okay? Because from there, we're gonna start making our facing also. Okay, now just stick paper. Okay, so that's done, and I would make again a straight line all the way to the top. Continue it up, and then you will need around 5 inches. 5-inch width, okay? So mark it. Same here, 5-inch width, mark it, and then square off. Square off on the top part there. Alright guys, this part now that you have attached the top part, you have marked where the 5-inch width is up there, we are going to fold. We're going to follow the line of the top one here where we cut off, remember? So, fully enough, we fold it down, alright? The reason why we're doing this is so that you can follow the marking for the shoulder. Okay, I have folded it over like that, but I'm going to turn it around like this so we can focus on the shoulder part. So let me go a bit closer so you can see. So this is the shoulder here, so center front, like the top part, shoulder over here, and that's armhole, right? So the shoulder, we'll get our measuring tape and let us mark it 2 inches from the top there towards the shoulder point. So so that's my 2-inch marking. So if you have craft paper, instead of folding it inward like that, you'll fold it the other way if you have the colored transfer paper, because you'll need it to start marking. So for me, I'm gonna fold it forward. And then, because I can see through the white paper of the shoulder area, so I just need to follow up to where the marking is. Alright, so if you can see that there, so yeah, since I'm using a pen, it does go through the white, and I can see how it reaches there, because here we're going to connect this top part already will be the facing. So up here we're going to curve a bit from the straight line. Alright, so for me, I'm going to start the curving. I'm going to mark here 2 inches. 2 inches on this top line. You can see up here 2 inches, and it will meet the marking of the shoulder facing area. Okay, so go, and then just curve it like it. So there. So reason is because when we do cut it already, it will be, this top part over here will be in the inside facing. So you don't need any facing top for the inside to clean out anything. See, it folds like that, and it will be a nice finishing. So when you have the cowl fall down, it will have a nice little fall as well in the inside. Alright guys, so next part, I'm gonna cut the center front because I'm gonna attach another paper to the other side. I am attaching this paper here. Oops, almost. So I'm attaching this paper over here to this so it can be one whole pattern already. Okay? So just make sure the other side of the paper has one straight line, or you can just draw out one straight line again, and then, yeah, attach it to the other side. So that would actually be easier. If this process is an easier thing for you, then you might as well do that. And fold this in. Straight, guys, to follow the center front of the manipulated pattern. So there, and I shall put this on top. See, there we go. Yes, it's good. Now, okay, when you put it on top like that, line it up with the center front. Leave a bit of spacing down here with your other pattern, with your other paper. Okay. And with that, tape it down. Alright? So you tape down that side. Alright guys, now that you have taped the other paper to your center front and it lines up nicely, we will fold it in. Why are we doing this? Because we will start making it into a whole pattern. Alright? Because when we cut it as a whole pattern, at least you'll see how the layout looks onto your fabric. It's a bit harder if you do it, I mean, you can do it half pattern, but I would like you guys to learn how to do it as a whole pattern too, because we're going to cut it in a bias way, diagonal. Alright, so now it's folded, and then I'll ask you guys to do your seam allowance all around. So this time the neckline, since we don't really have a neckline because it's going to be covered already, you can do 1 centimeter all around, and then the hem part over here, so the part over here where it's the dart, we're still making that into a bodice dart. So just basically, if you can see, so just like finish off the dart. Okay, close it up. Alright, and then yeah, bottom part, I'll say make the seam allowance 1/2 inch. Alright, so all around 1 centimeter, and then the hem part 1/2 inch. Now that you have folded it and made the new other part of the pattern, you will need to start pinning the sides down of the papers of both sides, because they need to stay within the same measurement. And then after you pin it all down, you cut all around with a seam allowance, okay? So that you get both sides. It doesn't matter if the other side doesn't have drawing or anything, just as long as it follows the pattern of this over here. So guys, before we start cutting, we have to also figure out where, because we're going to cut this in a bias way, bias direction of your fabric. So meaning we have to find the diagonal line over here, because remember that line is our line to follow with the grain line of the fabric. Alright, so I made a line across from the bottom of the armhole to the other side of the bottom of the armhole, and connecting together with the center line. So this way we can look for, because right now I'm just like trying to angle off. It's a bit geometric, so you do have to find the exact stance. Because that's the center over there between this line and that line, and I'm just looking. Let's go a bit closer. So I'm looking at how it reaches 1 inch here to 1 inch on this right angle. Okay, so that looks good. That looks like a perfect diagonal line. Wait, let me fix that again. This is how I find the diagonal line for the bias So that is our new grain line, which we will be following with an arrow. Don't forget that, guys, because I will show you, because you're so used to always putting it the right way, because we're always following the straight line of the fabric. This time we'll be following the straight line of the line itself onto the fabric, if that makes sense. So as you can see, that's the straight line over there. Okay, alright, now that we are done with the front, we're moving on to the back. So we get our basic back pattern and we trace it. Okay, now that we've traced the whole thing, do not forget to put the bodice dart, because when you do sew it, you're still sewing in the bodice dart, which we need. And don't forget to leave space on the side of the center back, because you will need that for your seam allowance, and because the back will be an open part. Or it's semi-open, not entirely so. Okay, so I got that. Your shoulder dart, or the ease, we're gonna eliminate that, because we're still gonna manipulate the shoulder and neckline of the pattern. So I will mark from the back of your center back neckline, go down 1.5 inches, because that will be your new neckline start. Okay, so mark it down 1.5 inches, and then you mark on the shoulder, because remember we took in from here to there like 3 inches. Do the same. So I mark here. So basically we are eliminating the ease, so that's not there anymore. It will be a straight pattern. Not a straight, but it will just be a regular shoulder. So I'm just gonna straighten that out first. Okay? And then there, with the new marking I placed here, I'm going to use the curve ruler to just blend in how the neckline has changed. So don't forget, in the beginning it's a bit squared off, okay, because you want it, when it reaches to the other side of the back pattern, you want it to have a nice blend, not that it ends up looking like a V or anything like that, because it's not intentionally supposed to be a V. So we'll blend in there we go, and there, the new neckline. So this is no more. Alright, that is gone, and that's the only adjustment you'll have to do in manipulation for the back pattern. Other than that, all around is 1 centimeter, except for the neckline over here. Let's make it 1/4. Okay, all right. So again, your seam allowance, 1/4 of an inch on the neckline, on the new neckline, okay, and then everywhere else 1 centimeter. But then center back, I decided to make it 3/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch, okay, because, well, I just want to have enough room in case I just want to change up how the back would look, either if it's a closed back, or I'm gonna leave it open just so that I can go inside and fix things. So I'm just putting enough seam allowance in there. Alright, and then after that, cut everything and then start cutting your fabrics for both your front and back. All right,